On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if the Gray-liens have figured out how to destroy Earth on Resident Evil, if Kingpin has figured out how to destroy Peter Parker on Spider-Man the Animated Series, and if Marvel has figured out how to ruin television once and for all. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only show on the internet that reviews every single live-action television show based on a comic book, as well as some of the animated ones. My name is Cassie, and I will be your host for this episode. And this episode, you guys, not a junior. We got a full treat for you, a full snack coming up. It's a big ol' episode, which means we've got at least a couple more comic book shows to talk about and a lot more bullshit coming your way. So you're welcome. You're blessed. Speaking of bullshit, I have some friends here to help me out. Bring that bullshit. First of all, there's Ryan.
Cassie, don't ever wait for somebody to say thank you.
Yes.
Just say you're welcome as fast as possible.
I think
that's the way to live life, right?
Oh, absolutely. That was probably the lesson I learned earliest in life, was just say you're welcome.
Before you said mama or dada, you were like, you're welcome.
You're
Middle finger.
Welcome. Blessed by my presence. Ryan, do you feel physically ready to do a full episode?
No, I am out of practice. And it's going to hurt my abs, because if anything hurts my anything, it's my abs. Guys, do you know, and not guys, because it's just me and Cassie.
Yeah, right now it's just, yeah.
But I do want to include guys. Guys, do you know, like, your first muscle to hurt, is it your abs when you're doing something?
You mean all 12 of my shredded abs that we absolutely all have on here?
I forgot that Cassie looks like if Groot was in the WNBA. That's what Cassie looks like.
If Groot? Explain yourself.
He's got rockin' ass abs. He's probably got at least 12, maybe 14.
Wait, Groot doesn't have abs, does he?
Not baby Groot. Mean ass tree Groot. That's the Cassie I know.
See, I always like the baby one. I always think of the baby one first. That's on me. Yeah, I'm adult shredded Groot out there dunking on people all day.
I'm adult shredded Groot, and I'm here to say is I believe the first line of every track on the Cassie rap album.
Yeah, you got to start it off with something so that people immediately know it's your track, and that's just my signature.
Is Groot an insult? Is it weird to call you a tree?
It sounds pretty fucking rude. Let me just throw it back to you, see how it feels. Hey, you look like Groot.
I'm like, you said you were gonna do it, so I prepared myself, and it still hurt more than anything I've ever heard.
Right?
Do you want to be Drax? Is that the Guardian you think you are?
Yeah, when I said I was shredded, I thought you would pick the one that's fucking shredded, bro.
Okay, Cassie, you're Drax.
Thank you so much. We have another panelist here. We got to figure out who he is. Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Cassie, you say you're Drax, but you're whining like a real mantis.
A
womantis.
This sounds sexist.
Boo.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, I don't like that, Ryan. No, don't lump me in with him.
No,
don't lump me in with that shit.
I'm trying to be inclusive here.
I was just being, because which character whines?
She doesn't whine that much, though.
She's pretty whiny.
She cries every once in a while, but
that's whining.
I think this is,
showing emotion is whiny.
Yeah, this is why I can loop you with Ryan when you said
no.
But
I'm not saying women show emotion. None I've ever been with do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What emotions would they show, Mike?
Which boredom?
Witch boredom. They always show a specific type of boredom called witch boredom, because they all ride around on brooms, don't they?
Which guardian am I?
A rocket.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Just to point it out, she said a rocket. Rocket from a rock. That's what you're acting like right now. Are we cool with our rock right now?
Yeah.
For sure.
I think they're solid as a rock.
I always want to do what my country tells me to do. Patriotism.
Real patriot.
And then I think they're like a 51st state now, right? Like we just hang out.
Oh, before Puerto Rico and Guam?
Yeah.
And that's it.
I didn't say I love it.
He just said the facts here.
No, speaking his endorsement.
Shit. I'm going to not talk.
Now
I
we're
endorse
talking.
nothing.
Now we're talking. Let's get a podcast where Mike doesn't talk.
Ouch. That... You just called Ryan Groot, but that actually hurt.
I just had to end it on an insult for both of you guys. I wanted to check in to see if being called a raccoon was an insult.
No, they're one of my favorite animals, and he's a skinny, smart one, so I'm into it.
He's shredded. They're all shredded, and that's most important.
Cassie, we have so much show to go through, but did I ever
know.
tell you about the time that I wrote my best man speech for Mike and his wife's wedding?
No, tell me every detail.
So my plans got canceled. I had to write it the night before the wedding. Typically on sitcoms, this is when you do the bachelor party, but we had done that months before. So I was outside in an Airbnb backyard with a trampoline that I did not go in because they're dangerous. And who would join me but an entire fucking family? I'm talking 5 or 6 raccoons were there. All I delivered my entire toast to them, and they put their hands up, and it seemed like they wanted food, but no,
They were
They
into
wanted more
my
speech. I sent them to you, my son.
I appreciate that, bro.
your inspiration from Mike. You did mention we do have a lot of episode to get through because, again, it is a full one. We're going to get to talk about Spider-Man, you guys. It's been a hot minute. We're also going to dig into the new Walking Dead joint, and then we're going to focus on Resident Alien. But before we get to all of that, let's dive into some rumors. We are back. I told you we would dive into some rumors because we are going straight into the Rumorville. We have... We've sent in an informant. He's been hanging out by water coolers, nail salons, parking lots. He's getting all the hot goss. So, Ryan, I believe now is your time to share everything you have learned.
I was so nervous that you were going to be like, and now here is that rumor monger, and I was going to have to do a character. Cassie, I'm not equipped to do a character tonight.
You were afraid to do this, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't want to do a voice. Like, that's not me to, like, be big and loud.
Don't make him do it.
There is a bit of a rumor going on, guys. And before we get into it, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, with all of society being 9, where are you guys at with, like, fear of the MCU crumbling in front of us?
Fear?
Yeah.
Expect.
Or
I think that...
I'm not afraid. I've seen it happening, my friends.
Okay, so you're
never
not...
been afraid.
You're not on the message boards, Mike, going like, no, they got it.
No, for the last couple of years, I've said, if people like me who have tattoos of some of this shit on them are sick of it, this does not bode well.
Yeah, it's slowly been like, when you have like 30 years of content, like you're going to be okay to say goodbye to it after a point. And I realize this is our livelihood, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We don't do movies.
I don't want the paychecks to end, but like we talk about them though. And
That's true.
we don't make them. It's not our fucking fault. But I feel like that there was a solid 20 years of my life where everybody was like, well, Westerns, they were very popular and they went away. Mm-hmm. And we were like, no, this is going to last forever. Or I said that. Did you guys say that?
No.
I
said, you're right. Westerns did go away.
And they should
You're right.
stay away.
You're right,
I'm a
Westerns.
student of history.
God damn it, you are. And I fucking love that about you. Here's the rumor. All Marvel TV shows, except for the ones that are in production, are going to be street level from here on out. Does that remind you of anything? Netflix. Did that go well? I'm honestly asking that question because I feel like that when we covered Netflix on the show, we were like, yonner cakes. And yet they have this like thing in the back of people's nostalgia that we're like, I loved all those shows.
We liked Daredevil season 1. We liked parts of season 2 and parts of season 3. We liked Jessica Jones season 1. We liked half of Luke Cage.
And every second of Iron Fist.
And we were fucking horny for all of Iron Fist.
Do you guys remember when we reviewed Iron Fist season episode 4 and the whole 15-minute segment we were like,
I think we liked the very last second of Iron Fist ever and said, well, that's where the show should have been, when it was him and his weird douchey pseudo brother adventuring, and we're like, yes.
That was it.
it was so boring and so many episodes. Like, it helped us give Netflix this reputation of having 6 too many episodes in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
Marvel was responsible for that. Well, that's the plan now. There are TV shows in production. It's Agatha, Wiccan, and
Wiccan's in production?
and a show called Vision Quest, which I believe all 3 of those are based on WandaVision.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Where they're like, well, we're going to release those. But from here on out, we're only getting, what's that Echo umbrella? What was the umbrella that Echo was under, remember?
Marvel Spotlight.
They're all going to be Marvel Spotlight from here on out. They're going to be closer to PG-13 or even PG-14.
Ooh.
But that's it. So
Spicy.
they're going to focus on that instead. Does this give you guys any hope?
No, because
Nope.
not a second. We watched Echo.
Yeah.
So again, moments were cool.
Yeah, it started strong and there was so much hope, and it fizzled a bit for sure. So I don't know. Spotlight was also that werewolf. What? Not werewolf. Was it a werewolf?
Well,
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night, and the Guardians holiday special, but those weren't Marvel Spotlight. Those were Marvel special features, which I kind of wish they went to instead.
Gotcha.
I do trust that they have 45 to 55 solid minutes in them.
Yes. And tap them out. Get them out of there real quick.
Whoa, what about that? Like, movies are 2 hours. Street level figures, TV shows are 55 minutes. Let's just do one special. All of the story of Echo,
Yeah,
55
In one
minutes.
special.
get a Daredevil every 8 months or something. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, that'd be super rad.
According to these rumors, Daredevil Born Again is still 18 episodes.
Yeah, but unless they're changing their big rules where they're like everybody's 6 hours no matter what. These are Bluey-sized episodes of Daredevil.
Hold on.
You could have
Hold on.
described that in a better way to make me more hyped for it.
Matt, Karen Page, and what's Flopsy
Foggy?
McFucknut?
Foggy.
Okay. They're all in the lawyer's office, and a balloon cannot hit the floor, and they have to keep that balloon in the air. I am there for that.
And the whole time, because in this world they don't know Matt's Daredevil, they go, Matt, how do you keep catching the balloon?
And then, hold on, the balloon hits the ground, and then the credits roll. And then after the credits, the balloon's like, they let me hit the ground. I will be the new bad guy for the entire next phase.
Yes.
This is honestly the best pitch we've ever had. I know we've had a lot of segments where like, let's save Marvel. We've fucking done it. We've done it right here and right now.
It's when we're not trying that we truly soar.
When we're literally giving no thought to any of our words is when we podcast the best. The other part of the rumor mill is that the multiverse is not gone. Like, we don't know is Kang still going to be here? Is Kang going to be recast? Is Kang going to become Doctor Doom? We don't know. But after this phase of the Avengers movies, the 2 Avengers movies that are supposed to come out like 3 years from now, that is not the end of the multiverse. So if you were thinking that this is like a crisis, that's DC talk, but a crisis-like event where we combine all of the multiverses into one and then move forward, that is not the case. And when pressed on that, when they said, no, it's not the end of the multiverse, they said it's because of Sony. So we have to have a way to have Morbius and the Madam Webbies
The fan favorites.
connect still. And I can't
Oh, no.
help but think, like, you guys have learned so much and yet so little.
And yet so little. Are you worried, Ryan, that you have the rumor ability of Allison in Umbrella Academy? So you just keep saying, I heard a rumor, and now all this stuff is going to be true?
God, I heard a rumor that Marvel will return to the top and win me back and win all the Oscars in the year 2028.
Now we're talking.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Are you talking about the character who basically raped people?
Yeah, we don't love Allison here.
Yeah.
Do you know that's actually an unpopular opinion? Like, the internet's pretty pro Allison. We are outliers because sorry internet, we're not pro rape.
Wow.
I have not seen that opinion. I've only seen anti Allison stuff.
Oh, cool. I like where you're hanging out more than where I'm hanging out.
Despite her being one of the leading stars of the original Hamilton Broadway show.
Was she really?
Wow.
Yeah, she was the original Angelica.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've learned.
And they
so
never let
much.
her sing on Umbrella Academy.
Well, she did that. What's that 80s song?
The one they all danced to?
Yeah. Remember dancing?
The one with elbows. Yeah, sure.
We all know
Guys,
it.
here's how we ultimately decide things. You guys both own roughly 2,000 stocks, I'm going to guess, in Marvel. It's probably at an all-time low since before Iron Man came out. This is probably the lowest it's been.
Yeah.
Are you selling or are you buying more?
Definitely.
You don't want to sell this low.
Yeah, you can't. You're lose all that. I have a
But that's
family to feed, a family of raccoons. I simply cannot.
God, that's not your family, Cassie. But like it could go lower. So therefore, if you sell now, that would be a good business decision.
I'm going to sell after the second Avengers movie
Okay.
that's coming up.
All right, and we have something. We have Deadpool 3, so maybe we should wait till that.
Yeah,
That
and
one, yeah.
Is that the savior?
I feel like I'm in an abused relationship because the last 5 movies I've been like, after one happens, I'm like, ah. And then right before the new one, I'm like, oh no, this one, I'm pumped. To the point that I went to the Marvels alone. Like nobody would go with me, and so once again, I'm like,
not any of your friends or family, but like literally no one in your city.
yeah, I was
would go with you.
legit alone in the theater. I to the point that I had to go and tell the projectionist they could turn it on because it was a half an hour past start time. True story.
Mike, before you tell us that, you have to fill out this application, and then you can do it yourself.
But once again, I'm like, I don't know, Deadpool and Wolverine probably gonna be pretty fun. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm Charlie Brown with the football.
But here's the thing: Deadpool and Wolverine can be a hit and mean nothing for the Marvel Universe because all previous Deadpool movies have meant nothing. Deadpool could
That's
be its
true.
own special thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, oh, cool, multiverse is like, what if none of this shit had to be connected? What if we have a bunch of corners just like the comics do their own thing? It's not going to happen, but it'd be cool. Use your rumor power, make it happen.
What if-
Make it happen, Ryan? Ryan.
Cassie, what if you found out that Daredevil Born Again was rated R? Would that change anything?
I mean, unless we get to see Matt Murdock physically pull down his pants and see that ass.
Yeah.
I don't.
Gonna see that Charlie Cox?
God, I want to get. Cassie said, "Pull down his pants," and I was like, "Oh, here we go." And then it was the butt only. Don't you fucking dare show me that wiener.
My guess is if Charlie pulls down his pants and you see his butt, you're gonna see at least tip.
At least.
I think he's got a hog.
You think he has a butt tit?
I think he's got a
tip.
butt
Did you say tip or tit?
tip?
Okay.
Tip.
I think you
I'm
said
saying
he
he's
pulls
got
out
a
his
hog.
pulls out his pants and you see one tit. That would be like, what is this guy's butt? Is he a mutant? That's not funny.
That's not funny. Dozens of people have tits for butts, and it is not a laughing matter.
We support them.
We fight for the dozens. Till I fuck my cousins. I'm Popeye, the Spider-Man.
I always knew this segment would end here.
I heard that rumor.
All right, well, I think that's a wrap on the rumor mill.
Permanently.
Permanently shut it down. We can't have this anymore. We got to move on to our main event. Let's go talk about Resident Alien. On this week's episode of Resident Alien, the writers realize they've been focusing too much on the character work we love, so they plot dump us. Harry bullies his way onto the mayor's family trip to Yellowstone to figure out what the mayor's subconscious knows, leading to the discovery that the Greys plan to blow up Yellowstone's caldera to destroy the world. Meanwhile, Sheriff Mike has to deal with sleeping with Judy Pooper. Taste buds, I ask you this. What's more horrifying, Kate dealing with slowly remembering the alien abductions or the sheriff meeting Judy's mom?
Oh, boy. As someone who has gone through both of these things, I should let you two answer first.
I was stunned because we say this is like one of the funniest shows, not just of superhero show, but on television. And that opening, when we realize when Kate's abducted, she remembers everything, and
Yeah.
she's has her baby that she thinks she miscarried in the real world. All of that was a punch to the gut. But then I've had a deal with meeting Judy Pooper's mom in real life, and that it hit in a different way.
Now, let's be clear, Mike, you're always dating Judy Pooper's mom, not the Judy Pooper, right?
Oh,
So-
I skip right over the Pooper.
It's like, I've seen enough porn. We're going to be having sex anyway. Why don't we just cut to the chase, baby?
He hates to waste time. Everyone knows this about Mike.
I'm efficient.
Yeah. If there's one thing we know about him. But the opening, I was truly like, because sometimes they'll have moments in this show, but it's not cold open. Like, here, let me turn on this funny show and be truly horrified by this terrible thing that's happening to this human. And then just to hear her like she constantly hears the cries and remembers it. The way they filmed it, terrifying, horrifying.
Because Darcy was also hearing stuff, right? Like, was that in this show? Or like, what is that? No, I'm thinking of what's that Mike Flanagan show that we watched?
Oh, Follow the House of Usher?
Follow the House of Usher.
Darcy's not in that.
Darcy's not in that, but that. Watching her go through that as a character who like is probably the least amount of plot stuff having been done, the mayor's wife. That like this is not the show that I expected, but it's not like when Arrow or The Flash or Legends would do this sort of thing of like, what's a miscarriage like, and what if it wasn't a miscarriage?
Oh no! I have far more faith in the Resident Alien creators.
I have more faith in them, but like. To even to attempt to tackle this, I think is crazy.
It is, but I think they're very smartly like it kind of bookended the episode because we got that horrifying opener, and then by the end, like the mayor's trying to figure out why Kate is miserable, and then their vacation is only going worse and worse and worse. But then she's like keeps hearing a baby crying, but it is the neighbor's baby, and then she pounds on the door like in a panic, and then sees this woman with her own baby. And then she goes, "Can I hold her?" And she's like, "No." And then the mayor's watching this happen, and all of it was like, again, we usually laugh hard at this show, and it was crazy.
I would say that there's three, and this is definitely the worst. This was horrifying, but there's three scenes in this one episode that were like, what the fuck show, like emotional wise.
Yeah.
But for this one, I would say hoteliers, if you will. Open your door and give that baby to that person. She's just a crying
Oh, you
woman.
love that your baby's crying for you? Come on. What if she can give the hysterical lady?
A seemingly deranged woman with messed up hair in a robe wants to hold your baby. Let them hold the baby.
This is where I feel like I can't be a mother, because if I saw a woman at like that broken
100%.
down, I'd be like,
Here.
I guess you need it. You need, yeah. I don't know.
And you know what I need? To not hold this baby. So this works out for both of us.
Yeah, that one, like, to really bookend it, like, just a punch in the face at the beginning and then a punch in the dick at the end. Like, it was so sad.
That's my fight move.
And then to just keep the mayor, he's always been that dumb husband that we all don't want to be, but always are, of like, what's wrong? I'll never know. Women are crazy. But, like, this is how could you ever, like, hug her hard enough or relate to whatever she's going through? Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just microwave a pile of rocks and one of them turns out to be a turtle.
The two extremes of this show.
When he said he microwaved a pile of rocks and one of them stunk, I thought, easy joke. One of them that was poop.
Yeah.
Right. But a fucking rotting, fried corpse of a turtle inside.
A northern American turtle, which I don't think exists. He microwaved it alive.
And they just put it back in the microwave to rest there for like the maids to find. Like,
No, yeah. That's for the next tenant, for sure.
like that room is going to have a terrible smell.
But also do it all.
Classic mayor dude of like, oh, the masseuse is not going to be at the hotel resort that we came to. I think that's my wife's problem, is that she's upset about the masseuse and nothing else. So I will So turtle aside, I'm going to microwave rocks and therefore solve all of her problems.
And then he was burning his own hands trying to grab them to ready. And she's like, fucking Ben.
Fucking Ben. We do have, while we're on this Yellowstone trip, we mentioned in the summary, Harry has crashed it. It's because he knows that the mayor's subconscious is like telling him things, and he was the one who picked Yellowstone, so he's like, this is connected to the Grays, I gotta figure it out. Did you guys enjoy Harry tagging along?
Yeah, it was funny. There was funny moments like when he bullies his way onto this family trip, and then when they acquiesce, he yells shotgun and shoves Kate into the ground so he can get to the truck before her. That's gonna
she has two awful husbands in very different ways.
And two awful sons.
Yeah.
But also, last week we talked about how Resident Alien does this amazing thing that we love when comic books do, of like just get wherever you need to go, get to it, and just to have Harry be like, "You're going to Yellowstone, and I'm coming with you." Cool.
What I love is they've designed the mayor to be such a weak man that it's not
a Ross Geller, if you will.
A Ross Geller, that it's not breaking the world for him to be like, yeah, I guess he's coming with us.
I have no idea why his wife was like, let's just take him. But
well, I think she's clearly depressed because of the abduction stuff, and also didn't really want to go. So she's like, okay, this weirdo comes with us. It won't make it worse than what I expect.
She probably wants to get into a three-way.
With that turtle?
With that
That's why she was so pissed.
He used the excuse of dead parents and sadness, and each time that excuse was just thrown out there, he's like, I have to go on, like, whatever you guys do today, I also have to do because of dead parents. And it was just straight up like that was the reason.
Yeah. It's the writers have such a good cheat to push plot forward. I love it. Like, that's I think in a weaker show, in a Ross Geller of a show, we would roll our eyes. But here it's just like, yep, we love you, Resident Alien.
Well, I mean, there's the old Pixar rule, right? Where you can use the cheat to start the story, but you can't use the cheat to end the story. And so that's what they do, is they'll get Harry on the bus to Yellowstone as a cheat, that it doesn't matter. But just don't use a cheat to wrap it up. And I think that's what the show does incredibly.
Yeah. We, during this trip, also got Harry just in his underwear, robe open.
Now, here's what I don't love. 2 dick, 6 abs. That's what I would say. Here's what I don't love, because I just finished listening to the podcast Think Twice, the story of Michael Jackson. And Alan Tudyk walking into this hotel room with a boy he spends a lot of time with, dressed like that, saying, I like to let the boys breathe. That
maybe the parents should be concerned.
The father, John Mayer. Wait, is that his name?
It's Ben Mayer.
Ben
John's
Mayer.
little untalented brother.
Ben Mayer saying, oh, it's fine that you're around my 8-year-old son who you spend an inordinate amount of time with, dressed like this. That's totally fine. No, Ben Mayer, put a stop to that. Get him out of there. You smell like hot turtle.
I mean, they've told him like we've talked about it, but they're really leaning into the fact that like these parents don't care about their son, like to the point where they were like, oh, by the way, where is he? And they said, I don't know, an arcade or something. Like it's not meant
the
to
arcade, and they both go, yeah, probably.
like no concern. Don't even like just write it off. Like he's out. It's fine.
What if the aliens came back to the mayor's wife and they were like, we took your daughter because you don't care about your son, so you don't
kind of deserve it.
You got stuck with the bad one. Sorry about it. Weirdly enough, Max, his name's Max, right?
Yeah.
And the baby's the baby girl's Minnie. Max and Min.
Yeah. Good. Ryan, good. Proud of you.
Thanks, Cassie.
Give him a treat now.
Keep it up. I truly, for some reason, I don't know if I was just I didn't mind him this episode, Max. I feel like he did decent with what more better than he normally does with his lines and everything.
Do you know what he is? He's not producer notes, but writer notes. He always comes in and he's like, you already did this thing, but now you're doing this thing that doesn't make sense logically in the screenplay or the audience, or to the audience. And Harry's like, that does make sense, Max. I will explain this.
Yeah, because we get a fair amount with him because he joins Harry on his lookout mission. Harry finds out that the Greys own a gravel company, essentially. So
gravel is just big dirt.
It's just big dirt. He's absolutely right. So he's staking out their little job site thing, and that's when Max come in and saves him by tasing an alien. His delivery of the line, did somebody ask for a peeled orange or something like that? I was like, this kid's actually doing it. I'm proud.
Well, I mean,
of this
Harry
kid.
calls him out and says, is that seriously going to be your catchphrase?
Yeah.
It was so good.
Another good Max moment when they see the people, he's just like, why do all those construction workers look like they're in a toothpaste commercial?
Yeah.
That was a good line.
It's such a specific sort of hot. It's not hot.
It's like robotic hot.
Yeah, it's a toothpaste commercial hot. That's a fucking good line.
It's a good way to neg somebody at a bar. Hey, You belong in a toothpaste commercial.
I was going to come up and talk to you and buy you a drink, but then when I looked at you for a second time, I realized that you're only toothpaste commercial hot, so I'm not going to. And then she's all up on me at that point. You know what I mean?
This shows a lot about you guys. A lot makes sense now.
Both of us, both me and Mike, by me saying that, it shows a lot about both of us.
So we did figure out, or Harry figured out in this one, that the Greys are in Yellowstone with a gravel company specifically so they can fill the underground with water. Just gather a bunch of water, connect it to like the Earth's core or caldera.
No. Those are different things.
Fuck.
But did you see how stoked Cassie was?
Fuck.
I know.
I thought I learned a term.
You learned that it is a word that exists. But so to Earth core, the caldera is the whole top of the volcano. And this is facts. Yellowstone is a super volcano. IRL. In our world, not just their world. It is a giant volcano that will kill us all someday. And this show is just using that as a fact. So the caldera is the whole lid of the volcano. So their plan is to fill the underneath that with water to blow the whole thing up.
Wait, I'm sorry. The whole lid, like that's the name of the entire lid, or the whole lid, like that's the lid on top of the hole?
Yes.
Don't you fucking say both to me.
Fucking, we're trying to learn. This is Science Hour with Mike, and you're withholding right now.
Do you know what I heard the other day? That the a meteor or asteroid that killed the dinosaurs put a divot in the hole, put a hole in the earth the size of the Grand Canyon before it even entered our atmosphere.
Whoa.
That was the pressure that it was giving off.
That's dope.
That's crazy.
We're going to die. It's crazy.
Just don't know how. A lot of things can do it. We'll see.
We don't want people to be responsible for it. We just want nature to be responsible
take its course.
for it. Yeah.
Take us out. We mentioned here the other terrifying thing that happened. The sheriff's dealing with the whole thing of he slept with Judy Pooper, and now she is fully convinced they're going to get married, introducing the mom. You guys mentioned you had experience with this, so I'll just let you guys kind of dig in and into your emotions here.
Well, an hour before I slept with Mike's mom, this is how she came on to me. Just showing off tattoos that I should not look at.
Trying to introduce him to her mom day one, and that's sad because Nana dead.
Can I just say something about screenwriting? I cannot believe the thoughts and prayers and feelings that I had towards Judy in this episode, who I had always believed up until this episode to be the two-dimensional character in the best way possible.
Right.
Yeah. The fact that they chose to really give her like this whole moment, this backstory, I was like, goddamn.
So of the 3 scenes in this episode that almost made me cry, one was involving Judy. And one way to bounce her, like clear her out into 3-dimensional, is introduce her 2-dimensional mom, who makes Judy look great.
I do love the deputy's look of horror as she puts together that Sheriff Mike hooked up with Judy. And like this scene, this episode was a great episode for their relationship. She used to really strive for his approval, and then they were almost equals, and he still acted like they weren't. And at this point, she is like, "Oh, you're kind of dirt," and is now lecturing him.
So that's the thing, is that like I'm your female underling, and I'm a better cop than you. That's fine, but now I know I'm a better person than you.
Right.
In every way.
Yes.
Darcy, can we go through Darcy and Judy's relationship over the course of the 2 seasons? Because at some points they're like screaming at each other, right? Like, are they arch enemies?
They're frenemies.
They're frenemies, but like
they're both worst enemies. But Darcy, I think, is also the only person in town who sees Judy as a human, and I think also because what this show's curse is they can't let a 2-dimensional character stay that way. They will eventually turn them into... Because Darcy season 1 was Judy.
Exactly.
And so I think and then they're so fucking smart because that's also... So Darcy hates Judy, but Darcy's also the only one to ever show Judy real human kindness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that Darcy thinks that everybody looks at her as if she were Judy. So that makes her hate Judy more, but also relate to her. And then, this episode... just pulled from like tiny tidbits of the first 30 episodes of the season to make this Darcy coming up to Judy after the sheriff says, we can't be together, and just like fucking hit it home. And Judy Pooper being like, no, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. I'm used to getting dumped. There's a lot.
To the point that she cancels her whole birthday party.
Yeah.
And so Darcy shows up with a cake that just her and Judy assume will eat without utensils.
And the way Judy,
Raccoon style.
part of being the town Judy is that you own no utensils, never in my apartment. But Judy's reaction to that, because like if either one of you came to my house with a cake, I'd be like, cool, but now you're here, so fucking great. But Judy's reaction is like, she's on the verge of tears more than when she got dumped.
Right.
Of like, this is the happiest moment of my life to feel like I'm actually being looked at and listened to.
Yeah. This show's bananas.
Yeah. We also had, I guess, like a healing moment or a connecting moment for Sheriff and the deputy when the deputy runs into her Nana, who just like, we find out, put out this like, or interviewed the newspaper to like kind of like trash her, say she's like a crazy alien conspiracist and like.
Now, is this a thing? Has this been in the past?
No, I
don't remember Nana at all.
I
Any
was
hint
wondering.
of Nana. And Nana is a C word. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the sheriff, like, just jaw on the floor watching how Nana treats the deputy.
One of my favorite things about being my age is that at a certain point you get to like point at family members and be like, cunt, never again.
Yeah.
And they can't have effect on you anymore. The deputy is not there. She tries to defend herself to this fucking horrible person.
Terrible.
And I thought it was all played for laughs until she gets in the car with Sheriff and then starts crying. And
Yeah.
this was the weakest of the three cry moments. The oh my God, my miscarriage, I want to hold, and because it's with the aliens, and Judy Pooper getting dumped and then getting to birthday. This was because it didn't have like the ramp into it. I wasn't
Right.
totally sure, but she broke down in such a real way. God,
Yeah.
they just stacked this fucking dumbass show that nobody watches
Yeah.
with all these people who can do whatever the script calls for.
Everybody is so under the radar talented. It's phenomenal.
Let's go ahead. We're almost out of time, so let's head to moments of the week. Mike, what do you got?
I got 3. I'll do one. Let you guys do yours, and then I'll do more.
Okay.
I'll start with it was a Max and Harry moment, and Max is like, "Oh, you owe me because I saved you," and Harry says, "Ah, I see. Tits for tats. You play well. You have good tits." And Max is deadpan. That's inappropriate. Perfect.
It was so good. That was one. I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the ones where I was like, this kid might got it. This kid maybe has
Yeah, it was such a good delivery that's inappropriate.
it. Ryan, what about yours?
That was mine. After coming off this Michael Jackson podcast of what he may or may not have done, and then for them to pull off that scene, them to have both a actor that we all know and love, and then also an actor in a full-on alien head, which might be Alan Tudyk. We don't know. Mandalorian, right? Is that ever Pedro Pascal? Just say that to that little kid and to pull that scene off. It's so fucking impressive.
There's a part where Harry gets a manicure, and you see Alan Tudyk have it, and then we see Max's vision, and there's still giant, disgusting alien manicures now on it. That was subtle show.
Oh, Cassie, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You're often manicured? Yes?
Clearly,
You have a
always, 24/7.
weekly appointment?
Yeah.
Piercings in the nails? Is that
Hot,
common thing?
fresh, rad.
Is that hot and fresh and rad?
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate real trend.
Yeah.
Is it just one nail? You just do it in one? Is it hard to type?
Depends on how bad of a bitch you are, Ryan.
I
More
always
than
think
is
about
it hard
typing.
to type, is it hard to wipe?
Yeah. The answer, yes, it is.
But piercing sort of seems like you're piercing skin. This you're just like,
You're just going through that fake nail.
Through
and it's not even your real nail. You're going
Yeah.
through a fake nail. So like this is the least badass thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk shit, but
It's stupid.
all right.
It's for the bad bitches. Not everyone can understand. My moment of the week. We do have early on in it, so they're trying to figure out they have a photo of this guy who was with the alien tracker, and they're like, this is the killer. And they're trying to figure out who it is because you just see an arm, and they decide they really focus in on the posture, which is very like straightforward. So the deputy is like, oh yeah, it's gonna like I get you. It starts with an M, and the deputy or the sheriff is the only person who can pull this off and says, yeah, a mime. And they're like, he's like, oh, they're like, no, I was going with military. And they're like, no, mimes can't be in the military because they have the don't speak, don't tell.
Any other show, I'd be like, fuck, that's so dumb.
So dumb.
And no, any other character on this show, I'd be like, that's so dumb.
So fucking dumb. And it really got me. It was so good.
It's because of the matter-of-factness. He just believes in himself so much.
The sheriff's golden moments of his whole mime ordeal, and then later, for no reason, he starts talking about pigeons, and he said, it's sad. They used to be such a proud bird. Were they?
Yeah, they used to deliver messages, didn't they?
That's true.
True. Mike, you got any more moments that we didn't hit?
Yeah, two are connected. Harry, afterwards, he's telling them the Gray's plan at the diner. And then he says, wouldn't it be funny if I stopped the Grays? And then the Caldera blew up right after. And then he's laughing and they're all like, no. And he's like, well, I mean, it's going to happen at some point. And then a little bit later, Darcy, I think, she says, what are we supposed to do with this information? And Astazez said, what did you do before? She's like, not know it. Yeah. And that felt so very like, just not know it. That's what I did. It was fucking live.
Eat the delicious steak. Watch the girl in the red dress. Don't know it.
Always red pill.
Always.
But in the Matrix terms, not in like the political.
Always blue pill. Which one says I get to live in the Matrix?
No idea.
Swallow the Matrix. DVD.
Swallow the Matrix.
Crunch it up. That is it for Resident Alien. It's on Sci-Fi if you want to watch it, and you should be watching it. Mike, no, not Mike. I'm sorry. I get you guys mixed up every once in a while. Ryan, I know you were talking about a big website idea, so I want you to, this is your time to shine, buddy. Go ahead and pitch it.
Well, it's funny that you would say Mike and then be like, you know what? Fuck that. I find him foul.
This guy.
Yeah, I assumed you went through my last 5 website pitches and went, fuck no.
Fuck this guy.
Like, imagine what it is like to be Cassie and just be like, all right, look at my options. Fuck. But actually, me and Mike are working on a new website. And Mike, I'll say the name and then do you want to take it from there?
Sure.
It is called, and I can't wait to announce this because it's not just my passion, it's my fetish. It is pedicurepiercing.com.
Pierced hand nails are so passé.
Disgusting to me.
But now we want long, sharp acrylics on the toes, and we want those to be pierced. The shop, the website will also sell size up for your shoe extenders, because you'll need that after, because these toenails are long.
Shoe
and they are
extenders,
dagger-like.
Or if let's say that you only wear Converse, like you're a weirdo. Our website will cut the toes off so you can wear Converse, but all of your long-assed pierced toenails can stick out of that Converse, and you can all the way down the street.
We want you to continue to walk around with zero arch support the way you like in your Converse. We want your knees to just die because of the shoes you've chosen to wear. But now people can also see what beautiful, sharp, dagger-like pierced toes you have.
Steel-toed Doc Martens, get that steel toe out. We're going to cut all that toe out so your lovely, long, four-knuckled, probably a little too hairy toes can stick out with their beautiful nails.
And
all
we
the
can
piercings.
make those look like steel. And sharp like steel. Like Lady Deathstrike, but on your feet.
What I like to do, Mike is super into tattoos where one hand says one thing and one hand says the other. Well, we're going to do toenails like that, where one says pain and the other one says fear or whatever Mike is into. And then all the toenails are pierced.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking rad. This is definitely a passion for you guys. I don't know if it's one.
And a fetish.
Yeah, and a fetish.
Lest we forget, it's also a fetish.
Guys, that was coming through. Don't you worry. I don't know if I necessarily support it, but I know some freaks who will. That's cybersprout.net. They're going to help you build this website because they focus on collaboration. But they're going to make you help you make a beautiful page. They're going to focus on those toes. They offer premium hosting that's specifically built for WordPress. They handle security, maintenance, backup, speed optimization, which for this tow website's going to be crucial.
Yeah, you need those toes to upload fast.
You absolutely do. They got easy to edit templates, like drag and drop tools. I'm sure there's one where you're like,
Drag
this
and
one's
drop
for
toes.
feet. And they're like, got you, boo. This one's our foot one. Go ahead, pop off.
Cassie, do you want the 5 toes on your right foot to say cyber and the 5 toes on your left foot to say sprout? We'll do that.
We can do that.
I absolutely do. That's because they're my friend and your guys' friend and your partner for digital world, cybersprout.net. Coming up next, let's go to our pull list. We are back for the pull list where we talk about all the other shows we watched this week. This week, you guys dig in. We've got The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
Yay!
Yay! On the premiere of The Ones Who Live, we see Rick 5 years after he has been taken by the CRM. During this time, Rick has tried to escape and reunite with Michonne 4 times, all of which have failed and only resulted in Rick losing a hand. Rick eventually agrees to work for the CRM, and while out on a mission, his chopper gets shot down, and all the other men are killed by a lady in a mask. This lady, of course, ends up being Michonne. Taste buds, I ask you, if you were held captive and the only way to escape was cutting off your hand, would you do it?
I'd die.
Yeah, I'm not going to fucking do it.
Oh, I mean, I prefer a foot.
That was
With
clear.
pierced toes.
Yeah, and like I would do the sprout because
What?
I want the foot that says cyber to be with me.
Okay. I was worried it was worse than that, but I forgot about the tattoos. This is good.
I find it very funny that he tried to escape 5 times to reconnect with Michonne and never once to reconnect with Carl. His
I know.
kid just and Judith. His kids just think he's dead. He's just fully deadbeat dadded.
He
Mike-
doesn't want them.
If your son was Carl, would you try to reconnect with him?
Never.
Didn't he lose an eye?
And probably died.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Gross.
He is dead.
Guys, can I? Something weird happened with this episode. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. This episode premiered last Sunday on AMC,
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
IFC, Sundance, BBC and WE Women's Entertainment all at the same time. 5 channels this show was on premiering.
They really tried.
I don't even know how that works. Like, does AMC receive all commercial
Well,
money
I
that they
bet
got?
the same parent company owns all of them. Then that's what that means.
But like, is this their attempt to say like, all right, we're going to flood basic cable with this show to like prove that Walking Dead is back?
Yeah, and they're not gonna necessarily juice the numbers. They won't be lying per se, but now when they tell advertisers and the trades, they're like, this many people watched. And they under their breath they go on 5 different channels.
It's not that. I guess it's not that bad of an idea in that way. Like the State of the Union, right? That's on like 5 channels.
Yeah.
So they think that this is the
And-
state of the Walking Dead Union.
I've heard that this year, the State of the Union, that Biden will cut off a hand.
Hell yeah.
Cut off or just slightly gently pull off? Just oh shit, this fell off. He's old. He's old, is what I'm saying.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Both sides.
We do not make fun of President
Trump is also old.
Robinette Biden. We do not do that. Hey,
While we're all angry here, anybody gonna give this show a shot? Anybody gonna?
fuck you.
Great.
Cassie,
Great.
did you listen to the show last week? I know you didn't. Mike was hosting, and he almost said comic book or comic book property, and we
God.
were
Did you
dangerously close.
scream at him?
I didn't because I had just shot heroin for the first time that night when he said that. This show was like at 86 on Metacritic, and I have to believe that they're just giving different bars for different shows. Like
Yeah.
for a Walking Dead show, this is at an 86, right?
No.
But still trash.
I'll never know.
I'll never tell.
The world will never know. If you are a psycho and you want to watch it, it's Sundays on AMC. That is it for the
AMC,
Police.
IFC, WE, BBC One.
My toaster.
Kind of can't avoid it. It'll just appear in your life at some point. So my condolences when that happens. But that is it for the pull list. Let's go talk about Spider-Man. Welcome to Estaz Bitch, a mini show within a show where we take an in-depth, episode-by-episode look at Fox's seminal and underrated early morning cartoon from the mid-90s, Spider-Man. This week we started season 2, which is looks to be a 16-parter, which is unhinged. So let's dive into the first episode. Ryan, we open up and Parker is just kind of like pouring out his heart to a gargoyle, just about how he can't get no girls, I think.
One, we live on the West Coast, and Cassie, does that piss you off that we don't have enough gargoyles to talk to?
Genuinely, since I was a child, like, there was the show Gargoyles, and I was like, where are these bitches at? And I could never find them, and it made me so sad. And they were like, we don't get those here. And I was like, God damn it, life is unfair.
Is it expensive to every time that you have something to talk about and you should clearly get a therapist, but instead you buy a plane ticket to the East Coast and speak to gargoyles? Is that
cheaper than therapy? Am I right, Ryan? No, I would travel the earth to talk to my gargoyle. I love that guy.
I know it wasn't based on the comic book, but like honestly, this is another age difference between me and you. I've never seen an episode of this fucking show. I don't know what it is.
What?
Everybody younger than me fucking loves it. Was it really that good? Should we do a deep dive on the show Gargoyles?
I want to say yes, but I'm also so terrified it wasn't that good. I want to leave this precious gem that
Never
was
go back.
like our...
Never go back. Yeah.
It's like our connector, and like everybody fucking ride or die for that shit. Like, I think I just gotta let it be there and think it was the greatest thing that ever existed. I think...
How many episodes?
No idea. Fucking no idea. I probably watched the same episode over and over again without even knowing. It was just like, hell yeah, let's go.
And don't you miss that time when you were a kid where you would miss 8 episodes and you wouldn't even give a shit?
Not even care.
There was no like whole like I gotta see every episode. Like you would see one, and then 3 weeks later you would see another one, and it would be the same one, and you were totally fine with that.
Totally good. There'd be a whole different plot. I wouldn't care. Dive right in. Throw whatever at me.
Were there different personalities with all the gargoyles?
Yes.
Like one was the cool but rude, and one was the science guy, and one was the leader.
There was like the nerd-ass one, the bitch-ass one, the fucking...
Oh, so it's Ninja Turtles then?
Yeah.
You're just describing Ninja Turtles. Great.
But
did they wear red and orange bandanas?
You know what? They did. There was a rat. You know what? It was just Ninja Turtles. I'm getting it now. But yes, back to the Spider-Man episode. Emo Peter Parker is just like, man, it's hard to be Spider-Man. What about all these ladies I could have had a shot with, like Felicia? And then there's this like a little daydream about her.
Yeah, so we go through the flashbacks of all of Parker's, I don't want to say conquest because he hasn't kissed any of these girls.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this is season 2. Let's catch people up. Anybody who missed season 1, let's catch people up. And it's just catching them up on his girlfriend.
It's such a crazy move.
Mary Jane says, hey, Parker, you're going to hit the jackpot again. Like, how often does she use this line of jackpot?
This Mary Jane is the most unhinged person I've ever met. Like, I don't understand her. But God bless her. God love her. While he's out here, he's kind of, doing his thing. He's swinging around. He's climbing buildings. And he starts to lose his powers. He starts to slip. Did your heart drop in this moment? Were you worried about our precious boy?
I'm worried about me as a viewer because I think this is the worst, dumbest fucking bullshit comic book plot line. How could he lose his powers? Like, this is something that every character has to go through. Like, and Cassie, when was the last time that you lost your powers? Were you ever like, I drive my car, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I can't drive my car, and then you crash into something? Like, this doesn't happen. What is the science behind this?
Have you ever not driven a car for like 2 months, let's say, and then you get behind the wheel and you almost murder 10 people? It does kind of happen.
I mean, were they bad people?
Yeah, it was worth it though.
So yeah, it's not murder. It's you're being a superhero.
I'm a hero.
They explain this later in the episode when Dr. Connors looks at his DNA and says, oh, your DNA is changing, which is the only way that this would happen. Your DNA is changing.
Yeah.
This is also the plot of Spider-Man 2, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the best Spider-Man movie.
The best one.
It came out before you were born, so I don't know if you've seen it. But I like, this is not a thing that happens. What is the scientific explanation?
Ryan, there's so much comic book shit that has no explanation, and this is the one that gets you.
For some reason, I don't know why.
It's gonna be a rough season for you. I have a feeling. So buckle in, buddy. We then cut to, I don't know, he falls in like a trash can or something, and he's like, oh, it looks bad for our boy. We then cut to Fisk, and he's holding a meeting with all the crime lords, and it's just like a board meeting, and they're reporting on their stats. Like, this was the most wild thing I've seen on this show.
He starts the meeting by saying, fellow crime lords. Like, I'm so glad that all of you could come to this meeting. And we've seen this before in movies, right? Like the heads of the five families all have to come together. But like they consider themselves legitimate businessmen who have to like cut some corners. This is just like, fellow crime lords, we all commit crime. Don't you love that about us? And then they bring out stats about how crime is up. And instead of like being like a meeting with cops, this is a crime lord. So they all applaud how we've raised it. We've raised crime. Crime is through the roof.
This was like simultaneously like a child wrote this and also the most true to life thing. Like, I could sit down in a board meeting and be like, crime lords, welcome.
Murders up. Burglaries up. We have done it, fellow crime lords.
And during this, it takes a turn for Fisk. Like, they just, I guess every chair is maybe outfitted with little like straps and stuff to come out.
Oh,
like,
I would not sit in a single chair in that.
Trust him.
Kingpin, because he's holding the meeting, so he's like, clearly my chair won't have arms that come out and trap me. But no, Fisk, you're at a meeting with fellow crime lords, and that is gonna happen.
They take it over and they're like, your stats are garbage, bro. You're bringing us down. We'll never run New York City with your weak ass shit. He breaks out. He's just kind of like, you're gonna have to respect me. I'm working on a whole plan to take out Spider-Man.
And they're like, oh, should we turn the traps off of his chair? And everybody's like, yes. And they pull out their cell phones and they hit the key that like the code that pulls his traps off of his chair. Let's listen to him because he's going to take out Spider-Man.
He might be raising crime. Let's hear him out. We then cut to a robot beetle that's kind of breaking a dude out of prison.
Not just a dude, but the chameleon who, Cassie, they arrested him and they put him in jail with no books, no anything. I don't even see a toilet. But they let him keep his belt.
Yeah.
The belt that turns him into different people.
And genuinely, how many days was he in there? Like, how long did it take him to do this? Like, it should have been 10 minutes at most.
Yeah. But he's like, no, this robot beetle has inspired me to change how I look and break out of jail.
Let's go, boys. He's got to gather a whole team. His team includes gay icon Shocker. Never forget. He starts off with him, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
No, he doesn't. He's like, all right, Quentin Beck, that's Mysterio, you're out. Mac Gargan, you're out. Shocker, you're out. And Shocker, everybody else is just like out of costume, just normal dudes. Shocker does not have a real name and is sleeping in his bed in costume as Shocker.
This is why he's a gay icon, Ryan. Like, this guy.
Never drop the costume.
Drag is a lifestyle, and he's fully fucking committed to it.
No, Shocker, we have to like book you into the prison, and we have to take your costume off. It's like, I am Shocker always. All right, Shocker, go to your jail cell.
He also gathers like Scorpion, Rhino Boy, so important for the mission.
Yes, he's a man dressed as a rhino, Cassie.
Again, in his costume as well. Some of them are just fucking more committed than others. And they also, the final one, Doc Ock, the big bad that they got to get. They all get in a chopper, they head to a warehouse, and it's obviously Fisk who has gathered them, and he immediately names them the Insidious Six. Fucking kicks ass, honestly.
Okay, I have to ask. In the comic books, they're Sinister Six.
Ooh.
Did the show lose the rights to the word sinister? Like, why are they? Do you like Insidious Six better?
I didn't know there was what was the comics?
Sinister Six.
That kicks more ass. So I just didn't know that the original existed, and I was just proud of them for pulling out like a 3-point word with Insidious, and I was like, fuck yeah, we're in it. This really lets you know what these guys are about. They're fucking insidious, and there's 6 of them. I was hyped.
Can I tell you a more badass thing? Don't have a group name for your 6 evil murderers. Like, you don't have to call them anything. Just tell them to go murder. But like, no, before we do anything, we have to have a group name. And it's the Insidious Six.
It's fucking bonding. Team bonding. Ever heard of it, Ryan? This is how you do it. He like gathers them, and then all of a sudden Spider-Man shows up. But so they all try to kick his ass. They do kick his ass, but it's okay because it turns out it's just a robot. And they're like, "Oh, I get what we're doing here." Somehow they're just like, "Yeah, I see what we're up to."
I think that's so. I think that's baller. Like, I want you guys to do this thing, and here's a robot, and then that's why we have Rhino, right? Who's like, oh, I didn't know he was a robot the entire time, and then Dr. Octopus has to say, that's not the real guy. What did you think of all five of them, or five of the six, excuse me, coming together and being the Insidious Five, and then Dr. Octopus is like, "Oh no, I am a doctor. I need more than this." Mm-hmm. I don't know why he talks like Lorne Michaels, and then Kingpin's like, "I'll give you the fucking fattest lab and all the science money you need."
Yeah.
And then he puts one octopus arm on. So they can all say, "Go Insidious Six."
Genuinely, I couldn't tell if he used the robot arm because yucky, he didn't want to touch the dum-dums, or if he's just too short and couldn't get in that beefy pile.
Do you know how fucking disgusting Scorpion's hand is? When was the last time you think Scorpion used a wet wipe on his hand?
Never. Not once in his fucking life. But yeah, that gets him on board. They're now officially a team. We cut to Peter, and he's like just kind of out and about, and I think, but he does lose his powers again. He has to like turn into, but he has his normal clothes now, so he like just kind of, he doesn't have his clothes. This is when he sneaks home.
And what he does, Cassie, is he Ferris Bueller's. Do you know what that means?
Nope. I know the movie, but I don't understand the context. Or how
you know that it's a movie?
I know
or that you've seen the movie?
I've seen the movie.
You have? Okay. So Ferris Bueller's parents are about to be home and discover that his day off, he was not sick at all. So what he has to do is run through all of his neighbors' backyards. And that's what Spider-Man does, is he doesn't take the straight road. He goes through all of his neighbors' backyards, which is trespassing every time. Like, this is like 8 counts of trespassing. But in one of them, inevitably, somebody is dry hanging their clothes.
Yeah, got
So you can grab a little costume on just before you get in.
Wrap yourself up. He sneaks off into bed, and Aunt May's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" He's like, "Nothing, just a little sleepy boy." He then goes to sleep. He wakes up what he thinks is just a couple hours later. Turns out it's a whole day later.
Have you ever done this?
Not a whole day, I don't think.
I think I've lost whole days before.
Really?
Yes. And that's like, to me now, that's crazy. Like, you have to do so much in one day. But I think there was like times in my 20s where I was like, "Oh, I missed Wednesday."
Honestly, out of any of the days, that's a good day to miss.
Yeah, fuck Wednesday.
Fuck that day. He immediately.
But when he wakes up, do you see what he's wearing?
Normal ass clothes.
No, he's shirtless with jeans and a belt.
Oh yeah.
Why was he wearing a belt to sleep? Just like they fucking put Chameleon in bed with a belt. What is this show's deal with belt? Like, everybody sleeps with belts on? His Peter Parker's belt doesn't even give him powers, and he's sleeping in it.
And he's sleeping. It's just to show that they're all fucking psychopaths, including him. But he's like, "Oh dang, I'm a miss class. I can't miss class. I love this dude." So we then cut to his class. They're talking about Neogenics, I believe is the term. Yeah,
Neogenesis. Neogenics, yeah.
And the teacher is like trying to rally support for it. He throws out like some type of competition for them to, like, I don't know, make the best thing or some shit. Do some science.
Classic college teacher. This class doesn't have a plot yet, so I will pit all of my students against each other. Mm-hmm. This is what college teachers are doing all of the time.
All the time. You have to battle each other to get a degree.
I'm a math teacher. Only one of you will be able to finish the math test. Compete against each other, of course.
God, I barely finished math as it was. If it was...
No. Cassie, the point of college is for people like Cassie to sit in the back of the class and just coast to a degree.
Yeah.
You can't run a college like this.
You cannot. And thank God for it. Speaking of other students, though, there is another student in there who's being a complete weirdo.
Cassie, in all your dreams, in all of your nightmares and all your dreams, did you ever think when you turned on Spider-Man this week that this gentleman, and I'm going to let you describe him, but that this gentleman would be a character?
I never thought that this was our introduction to this boy, and this is how he came to us. God, he's just like the slimiest little dude. That, like, Peter steps outside, and like Felicia is like gonna ask him, like, I have a science thing. Will you please go with me? And this fucking weirdo just comes up.
This guy with long, greasy black hair and a collar that pops off that jacket way harder than it should. And I'm sorry, Cassie, a bit of a Transylvanian accent?
Absolutely. The most insane accent you've ever heard. It turns out it's Morbius, you guys. We've all been craving him. Don't worry, he's in Peter Parker's science class.
So is this cartoon telling me that the people who will one day become vampires are the people who act the most like vampires before they become like he's one step away from being a vampire. Yeah. So were the bats that were flying around like, oh, this guy's close, let's just fucking send him home?
Nobody,
because he walks around going like, Peter Parker, how are you?
It's honestly the only way to do it, because like you can't have like a normal person all of a sudden turn into this weirdo. You got to take the weirdos.
Yeah, because they see that bat coming to like bite your neck, and they're like open for business. They like open their neck up, and they're like, get in there, buddy. This is only gonna help my game.
There's a quick interaction. I don't know. He's just kind of like, I'm gonna kick your ass, Peter. I'm the smartest science boy. And that's a quick wrap on Morbius for right now. Don't you guys worry, he'll be back.
Guys, no, don't even worry.
He's gonna be back. And then this is when Felicia's like, hey, I've got the science gig. I need you to take me to it. I don't understand science, even though I'm in the science class. I get you, girl. We're one and the same. And then weirdly enough, the Flash shows up, punks Peter as he always does, but then is like, have you heard these things about Spider-Man? Your boy over at the newspaper is really fucking it up with what did he call the Six? What was his name for him?
The Spider-Man 6?
Oh,
Spidey 6?
Yeah. Because he's reporting that Spider-Man has these group of bad guys that he's leading around, just causing crime.
Because the Chameleon, with his belt, is dressed like Spider-Man, and he'll like send people in to like do crimes, which is always like run into a bank and then run out 2 seconds later with 2 bags with dollar signs on them and be like, ha ha ha, and right into the camera, like, ha ha ha, look what
Crime
I got. And then Rhino and the Spider-Man run away. But that Spider-Man, Cassie, I have to tell you, and I'm sorry, I always have to be this person, but that Spider-Man in the video has the same belt as the Chameleon does. Why is no one listening to me about this?
It's just, they weren't ready for a visionary like you. You should have been on the paper.
And Peter's like, what? I don't understand anything that's going on. And then Flash Thompson, in one crazy lightning bolt of a Flash Thompson idea, says, what, have you been asleep for 24 hours? And that is actually true. Peter Parker was... So Flash Thompson did get that right.
He's absolutely right. So
Peter should have stopped and said timeout and been like, yes, sir, Flash Thompson. I have been asleep for 24 hours.
I don't know how you knew that, but yes.
That's crazy.
So Peter immediately rushes off. He's like, not Rhino taking money. This can't happen. So he shows up at the armored truck, tries to put a stop to it. This has obviously been a trap. So they all like come out, they all try to get Spider-Man, and it's going pretty well for them. They have him captured, but then they all start fighting over who gets to like actually take him in. Classic bad guys.
This is the thing. When the X-Men fight the Brotherhood of Mutants, the X-Men work as a team. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, they like want the spotlight. They fight against each other. Bad guys, yeah.
You got to do it.
This is how it works, yeah.
And especially with like Doc Ock. It's Doc Ock who is like, no, obviously I'm the smartest one here. I get to take him. Like, I am the lead character. This bitch is mine.
Bit of an ego on that one. Main character syndrome.
Bit. And during all of this, like, Fisk is like, hey, he's gonna get away. He does, but he also does lose his powers again. But he does manage to escape, and then he's just stuck as a normal dude taking the bus home and stuff. And he honestly accepts this life very quick. He's just immediately like, I'm a normal dude now. Guess who gets to date chicks? Me, Peter Parker, your boy.
I think that's like ultimately like when you ever have you ever lost your job and you're like, this is great for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the beach in the morning and I'm gonna take up knitting. No, like terrible things happen to you, and the first instinct is like, this is wonderful.
This is the best thing ever. He does go to his teacher though to like kind of be like, what's up? But he is as Spider-Man. He's like, hey, something's weird happening to me. The teacher runs some tests.
Yeah, the teacher types tests into a computer and gets it done. They do a little CAT scan, and it turns out that his DNA is changing. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I don't know what would cause that. Oh, but we do have to talk about. There's a flashback to when the spider got hit by the rays, the magical science rays, and in that flashback, Peter is the same age that he is now. Mm-hmm. So are we to believe that he has actually not been Spider-Man for that long? He didn't go through all the high school stuff that Tobey Maguire went through.
You actually gathered an interesting point from this flashback, and I was just like, fucking flashback. But yeah, actually, because he's a tax-paying adult, like college kid. Like,
you see him in the background filling out W-2s while this thing goes on. But yeah, I think that he missed that whole I'm a dorky teenager, but then I had to hide my Spider-Man-ness throughout that. So like, I do think that makes him a different Spider-Man. Also, Cassie, we have not talked about, this is season 2. Mm-hmm. We are in a whole new thing. He is not wearing the striped sweater.
I know.
They have done different fashion designs.
He's got a little tucked-in shirt, a little overshirt. They said, this guy, he's a cool guy now. I miss the shirt, honestly.
You do already. One episode and you missed the shirt. I want to like see the video of the Fox Kids like exec coming in saying, love the show. Love the show. He has to change his sweater every once in a while. That's my only note. He has to change his sweater. You
just give him different ones. The teacher ultimately comes to like, yeah, your DNA is changing. There is this weird like neogenics thing happening to you, and Peter's like, I can't let him know that this is how it all started for some reason. I don't know why. I guess because then he would know it's Peter Parker, maybe. He would like, I don't fucking know, dude. It doesn't matter.
I mean, this is the guy that becomes the lizard every once in a while, so maybe you don't want to trust him with all your secrets.
Oh, true that. You're so smart, Ryan. You know comics.
Okay, those felt like two opposing sentences, but keep going.
No, you're really cool and you know comics. And I don't know, Fisk kind of yells at the guys. He's like, how could you let this happen? You got to go fix it, I think we'll say. They all kind of scatter to go find Spider-Man. And it ends up being Scorpion who has this idea to put on a trench coat, of course, because he is a full Scorpion. He has this insane costume with a giant tail. So he puts on a trench coat and a hat.
Don't take off the tail.
No, never.
Put on a trench coat and maybe cover up the tail. Never get out of costume.
Never.
Just put on the trench coat.
Fucking never, ever. So he's going to follow this dude, Peter Parker, who always gets photos of Spider-Man because he feels like that's going to lead him to it. And Doc Ock, the other guy, who also, his disguise is just a trench coat.
For no reason. I don't know why he was wearing that. He was just like, I will also walk down the street wearing this clothes. But I do like Doc Ock as a leader or as a manager. We've all had managers like this. Like, excellent idea, underling. I will take this for myself and give you no credit.
Yeah. And Scorpion just accepts it. He's like, all right, yeah, I guess we're a team now. Let's go. We then see Felicia, who is calling Aunt May because Peter was supposed to be taking her on a date. And she's like, I don't know where he is. At this point, like, the trench coat boys have caught up, have made it to Peter Parker's house. They kidnap Aunt May. Peter Parker simultaneously running to the house because he's a bitch who has no powers now. He has to run. He gets home. There's no Aunt May. He's like, this is fucking weird.
Kicks open the door and says, hey, Aunt May, I don't want dinner.
Yeah.
Like, that's his first priority. I don't want any of your disgusting cobwebbed beef stew.
And then there is no dinner ready for him. And he's like, this fucking bitch doesn't have dinner ready for me. What the hell?
And he says, if I had my spider sense, I would truly know that dinner is not ready for me. But just with basic powers, I know that dinner is not ready for me.
He does, since he doesn't have his senses, luckily they wrote a letter for this guy because they think it is just Peter Parker, photographer. And they're like, hey, if you want your grandma back, bring Spider-Man to this place.
Which is fucking insulting because that is his aunt and not his grandma. Like, that is ageism. It is not his grandmother.
And we all knew this and remembered this. We all knew Aunt May and didn't get confused at all. We then see Doc Ock talking to Aunt May in this fake doctor's office that Fisk had set up for training purposes. I don't fucking know why this was. Yeah. And he's like,
cartoons.
He's like, something's not wrong or something's not right with Peter. We're running all these tests. Don't you even worry. And then we see Spider-Man walking up to the clinic and everyone's like, weird. I've never seen Spider-Man walk anywhere. He's like,
I know.
Something.
He can't even do that thing where he hops 1 foot almost backwards every time he hops down the hall. He just has to walk down the hall in that costume. Just wear your normal clothes, bud. If you don't have powers, wear your normal ass clothes.
You're just a normal guy. Don't put on the fucking suit. There's obviously, this has been a trap the whole time, so there's of course a trap door. He falls into it. They're all there, like, we got you now. And this is when the episode ends. To be continued. We will pick up with part 2 later.
To be continued over 16 parts. Cassie, are you excited?
16 parts. I saw it and I was simultaneously so excited and not mentally ready at the same time for a 16-parter. Also, I forgot to mention the name of this. Neogenic Nightmare, Chapter 1, The Insidious Six. They just threw it all the fuck out there. They said, here it is. You are in for a ride.
This is comic books. This is delivering comic book ass shit to the normal audience. Do you want to know what happens in comic books between Otto Octavius and Aunt May?
What?
Do you want to guess?
Do they hook up?
Yes, they do.
Gross.
They literally get married.
No.
They get married.
They had.
Do you know how hard that is for Peter?
Ouch. Doc Ock was laying it down.
He knocks on Aunt May's door and Aunt May answers, and Doc Ock is supposed to do this evil thing, even though I'm in a trench coat. And he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, hello, hello, Aunt May." What if they, in this 16-part series that we're just now venturing into, do you think that they will fuck?
I think that's the final chapter. That's what it all comes down to.
Man, you thought you hated your stepdad. What if your stepdad was Otto Octavius?
With that fucking haircut. God. You know what? But Peter deserves it. Fuck that guy. Let's go to our Webbies. We got some awards to give away. Ryan, most 90s thing. What do you got for it?
My most 90s thing, and this has happened in so many things that I watched throughout my childhood, so much so that we joke about it constantly, is we need a disguise. And in the 2000s, in the MCU, it was wear a hat and glasses. Mm-hmm. And no one will be able to tell that you're Captain America and Falcon sitting at the bar of a restaurant. But now it's giant trench coats. And I swear to God, you know what's weirder than you guys in your uniforms or your Scorpion and Dr. Octopus costumes? Giant trench coats and fedoras. Why are you guys wearing this walking through town?
That always have these bulky shapes underneath because you have something wild added to your costume.
Or again, take them off for a minute.
Yeah.
Just be in your normal clothes.
But then how would they carry them around? You can't put that in a bag. What are they going to do, Ryan? What if crime? What if they need to do crime?
What if they need to do? What if crime is needed and they're not there for that?
Exactly.
I'm Matt Gargan and I need my fucking scorpion tail.
That
Shut
is
the fuck up, Matt Gargan.
It is very 90s. That's a strong one. For most 90s thing I put down, there's a moment with Morbius where they're talking about he's like, Peter, I'm going to kick your ass in this competition. And Peter's like, don't forget about in the tortoise and the hare, the turtle one. And we get this fucking Russian ass joke of, in my country, we eat tortoises. God.
In my country, we microwave tortoises and use them for rock massages.
A real episode against tortoises. is what we have discovered here today. I am gonna give that to you though, because it does feel more 90s. Like the Ninja Turtles were out there just in fucking trench coats when needed. Like it was.
Hey, Raphael, we could tell that you're a fucking Ninja Turtle. The trench coat is not doing as much as you think.
You have an insane shell. Clearly a shell.
What is coming out of the back of that trench coat? Is it a shell? Because you're a turtle that I want to microwave?
Also, we still see your fucked up hands, bro. It's just a coat.
Not like, I don't mean to be judgmental, but you have 3 giant green fingers coming out of that sleeve.
And honestly, you can't like type with those things. You can't dial a phone. Like, it's fucked, bro.
Also, Raphael, every time I say, hey, how are you? You throw off the trench coat and pull out size and say, what did you just say to me? Like, we know that you're a Ninja Turtle.
Get it.
Bro.
Let's go to our next one, which is going to be Best Web Zinger. What stood out to you for that?
I after the opening, the heart to heart with the gargoyle, I couldn't go away from no. Me and you are rock solid.
I'm glad that the simplest pun got you. The most on brand one right at the beginning, where I was like, "This guy, I see why Ryan connects with him." I'm glad that is the one that you put.
I mean, Cassie, what else would I do except for something that you, as Cassie, could be like, "This is Ryan. This is just Ryan talking."
This is fucking Ryan talking to a rock. For Best Web Zinger, I have when Scorpion attacks Spider-Man, he says the phrase, "Eat acid, Spider-Man."
Oh,
but
what did you think he was about to say, Cassie? Yeah. Was it about to get gross? Eat ass. Sad.
I've never been more proud of a voice actor's delivery in my life. I was trying to watch this at work, quietly stood up, cheered, was like, frick yeah.
There's never been a longer pause between the syllables of ass and id than when Mac Gargan said that to Spider-Man.
Eat acid. Oh, God, it was so good. Ryan, yours is on brand, but there was eat ass.
No, you deserve those points.
So I'm going to give that point to me. Our next one is Kung Fu Grip or Best Use of Power. What do you got for it?
I think this is like 2 episodes in a row when Spider-Man has done diddly squat. Mm-hmm. So this is a weird one, but he's getting attacked by the Insidious, not Sinister, Insidious Six, and Chameleon pulls out a gun and points it directly at his head, but Spider-Man is luckily so close to Chameleon that Chameleon misses. Is that what we're supposed to do? Is just like run towards people with guns?
Yeah, that's the technique that they never taught you.
So the bullet goes right over his head, and because Spider-Man is like on the ground, complaining and weak. So that's my move.
Run.
I think I'm going to miss these points.
I don't know. Mine, I'm not feeling confident about. But I do have the power of trapdoors when when building a layer. Just put trapdoors all over the place because you never know when Spider-Man's going to be in there to drop him through.
And this isn't like a basic ass hospital. Like there's just a trapdoor.
Yeah.
But I will give Spider-Man credit because his upper body is flailing, screaming. His lower body, his legs are ready for the trapdoor landing.
It's not his first time. He absolutely knows what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's been trapped in a door.
He sure has. Ryan, I don't know between the two of us who to give this to, so I'm obviously going to give that point to me when I don't know. Yay me.
Give Mike -5. Where is Mike, by the way?
He got too excited. He left. He said, I got to go watch this episode again before I can even begin to talk about it.
Have you ever watched an episode that got you so excited that you couldn't talk about it? You had to run out of the room and not... Wait, Caitlin with Smallville. Yes.
Yes.
That answer.
Absolutely. Our final one is New York is a character.
Not our final one, Cassie. We have 5 awards now.
We have 5.
Yes, we do.
Is that 5th one the one that we...
The Cassie compliment is now an award.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So our next award, not the final one, New York is a character. What do you got for it?
I have, and it's so crazy because New York, as far as I know, never having been there, but just seeing it in Martin Scorsese movies, is just full of trash and the smell of piss, right? Like, I don't know if there's piss there, but like it just exudes piss. Spider-Man gets thrown into 3 different trash receptacles in this, episode, and I'm just wondering, New York, why is there so much trash everywhere if there's this many trash receptacles to throw Spider-Man into? He falls into a dumpster. He gets thrown into 2 different trash cans.
Yeah, they're kind of just like any wall, any available space, there's a dumpster there in case Spider-Man needs to get thrown into it.
Okay, so put your litter on the ground next to a trash can.
Yeah.
But if you're fighting Spider-Man, put him into the trash can.
These ones are for Spider-Man. And honestly, this town hates him enough. I would believe that the whole city would just be like, line the area with trash cans. Throw Spider-Man in there. Fuck this guy.
In case you want to fucking punch Spider-Man.
For New York as a character, I have Parker walking to the clinic because New York, he's walking here. He's walking.
Jesus. Okay, so you didn't watch the episode or even try on the awards. I do have one thing to say. We talked about how he loses his powers in Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And also there was about to be a fight on a subway, which is very Spider-Man 2.
Very New York.
In Spider-Man 2, the movie, the subway is above ground. This one is underground.
Uh-huh.
And Shocker tries to go for him, and then he's like, yeah, fuck it.
I wish Mike was here. I zoned out.
We don't know. All right, Cassie, you ready for this award? Did you give yourself this award?
I did not give myself this award. But so this one this is how you could take it down, Ryan. This is best compliment for Cassie or thing from the show that stood out that made you think of Cassie. I don't remember what it was.
But I could get negative points.
You could.
And then right. Okay. I'm going to tell the listeners a story when Cassie was like, I'm going to be the host of the Superhero Show. And we were like, no, Cassie, that's ridiculous. And we trapped her in a chair. But she broke out of that chair and convinced all of us that not only should she be the host of Superhero Show, like Kingpin did in this trapped chair that he also sat in, she trapped us in these chairs and has made us listen to every word that she has to say since then.
And you're fucking welcome. Again, Ryan. Blessed is what we have determined. Honestly, I sound like a genius in this one. I was ingenuitive enough to trap you guys. I've held you captive for years. That's not easy to do. I take this as a compliment. I'm going to give you a point for it. Good job, Ryan. If the crime lords are looking for another person to add to their board meeting, I'm available. I have a great resume, a great CV to pass on.
Would you like just an intern crime lord? Just like do a little, like a year for free. Intern crime lord.
You know what? For crime lords, I'd do it. And they're the only ones.
And Cassie, I know that was your compliment, and I appreciate the points, but I do have some notes. You created chairs that like trapped us in with arms.
Uh-huh.
But then you ran around the room putting duct tape on our mouth. Like, couldn't you have come up with some sort of robot that put duct tape on? You ran around, and it took forever for you to like be like, no, I can break this duct tape up. Nope, I'm going to use my teeth. Nope, I need scissors. And for every person you did that.
Okay, now it's getting insulting because like
I apologize.
I am strong enough to break the duct tape, and I chose to do each person individually because like that's kind of the crime lord I am. I like to personalize the experience. I like to get face-to-face time with you. Like I can't have robots be doing everything. I want you to know that like this is me. I am taking you captive.
No, I love that. Before I put duct tape on your mouth, I like to get to know you a little bit.
Just a little bit. I'll ask you a question. Tape that mouth right up. I don't give a fuck.
What's your favorite color? Duct tape on the mouth. Don't even let them answer.
And again, any crime lords listening, I'm available. This is what I could bring to your team.
Fellow crime lords, where you at?
Where are you at? Hit us up. Ryan, with that compliment, you did end up taking this. You won Spider-Man. Mike did not because, again, he's watching it for a 5th time. He just couldn't be in this one. So you're the Spider-Man boy this week. Congrats to you. And that is it for the episode. Congrats on a great episode, Ryan.
Oh, my God. Cassie, if this doesn't win any potties or casties or whatever the awards are, what are the awards for podcasts these days? I'm going to give you this special award that I have created.
Okay.
With macaroni and glue. For you hosting the single best episode of any podcast of the year.
That is so nice. That is the sweetest thing. You know what? 2 more points for Spider-Man for you for this fucking award. I'll cherish this forever. I'll also cherish you telling me about some other websites.
Popfilter.co is the website where we do all of our stuff. So you can find all of our podcasts and a lot of articles and all the things we do. Popfilter.co/Amazon is where we would love for you to go. Make that your new Amazon bookmark. And then we get a little bit of funding for the show. A little bit less goes to Amazon. And I know what you're thinking. Doesn't Amazon deserve more? Shouldn't they get more money? Mm-hmm. But what if a little bit of that money went to us? Popfilter.com. Popfilter.co/Amazon.
Ryan, .co.
I'm sorry.
.co. And I feel like everybody should know that money is going to the duct tape, so it's for a good cause. In case you were feeling bad about taking from Amazon, no, it's going to the duct tape that I hold to keep them captive.
Or at least the robots that put the duct tape on, because Cassie, you don't have that kind of time to run around and put duct tape on everybody's mouth.
I'm too big now. I'm too big to be doing this. I need to bring in the robots.
I do have to say, Cassie, that I really appreciate you coming to the show wearing a giant white suit with a purple turtleneck and then purple, I don't know, what? Can you tell me about, what is the Kingpin wearing?
I can't tell you. And I don't know, I can't tell you, Ryan. But okay. Honestly, style icon. Second to Shocker.
Dude, Matt Gargan, get up. Quentin Beck, get up. Shocker, get up. That was my moment of the week. I don't know if we had to do that.
Yeah, we absolutely did. Thank you. We also have another show on the network, Movie of the Year. Is it still Bodhi time over there, or is it?
It is booty time. Best of the year. Booty. We're still talking about 2023. Cassie, your show, TV drama, is coming up.
Drama. There was drama over there. I don't want to say drama consistently will break relationships, but we're keeping that tradition strong over there.
Can I tell you a little secret about me and Cassie's dynamic? She had so many bad opinions on that show. I went to slap her, and her ability to just block slaps out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. How did you learn how to do that?
It's a secret power of being a younger sister to an older brother. We're just all fucking little ninjas, dude.
Do you have, so your eyes wrap around your head and you just always know if something is incoming. Fucking siblings, terrible.
Just that's our spidey sense. We know when somebody's going to try to fucking fuck with us. Always be ready. Never let your guard down.
You ate an entire cup of top ramen while blocking all of my attacks at you.
Yeah.
It was so impressive.
I'm pretty impressive. Thank you so much. We are also on social media. We are on Instagram at Your Pop Filter. Pretty sure that's it. You can find us there. It'll get you there. Follow us, like our post. Thank you so much. We have an email as well. contact@popfilter.co. If you want to share, if you're watching The Walking Dead.
Oh my God, we will read your emails. We will do it. Cover that show for us.
You can be a part of the show. Please do it for us. Somebody has to. You could go over there, do that, send us your emails. Next week, we got another big episode, a banger of an episode. We're going to be talking about more Resident Alien, more Spider-Man, and more Walking Dead. But that is it for this week. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For me, I am me. Bye, everyone.
Put Steely Dan. No, what's the band? Put Fleetwood Mac. Oh, that's an album. I'm keeping this all in.